Today we're going to make this cute cut a bug card or get well card. 2 circles pre-cut. One will have our hexagon on it and the other one's going to have our flower. Okay, so we're going to start out with the flower circle. And we're going to stamp this Hero Arts closed flower, small closed flower, in Dusty Concord Distress Ink. This will actually be easier if I do this way so I can see what I'm doing. And because it's Distress Ink, I'm going to give it just a little spritz with water, because I don't care if the flower is totally perfect. So there's our flower. We're going to let that dry. And next we're going to work on our hexagon circle. Now I did that using an embossing folder. This one's from the Paper Studio. You can get it at, I got it at Hobby Lobby. And we're going to take some mustard seed. Just try to make sure there's a big enough spot. So we have mustard seed, and then I'm going to add a little bit of wild honey just to get a little bit of variety of color on there. And we're also going to give that a light spritz. And we're going to place our other circle on here, being careful not to move it. I like to go ahead and close this and then flip it over so I can kind of see where the ink is, see where I need to maybe press a little bit harder, and then when we lift it open, we get something like that. And this will just wipe out with your baby wipe. No big deal, no harm done. We just used it as a background stamp to add a little extra texture to our circle. Okay, we're using the Bugs and Kisses set from Fawn. So we're gonna stamp the jar and our cute little bee. We're going to stamp that in archival jet black ink because we're going to do a little bit of a watercolor. I'm going to use my Zig Clean Color Real Brush markers on this. And we're going to need 3 bees. And I'm stamping this over some just inexpensive craft foam from the craft store. So it's helping me get a really nice impression. So we're going to color the bees in with yellow. Just coloring. So we're going to color in the top of the jar with a little bit of gray. We're going to blend this out with the light gray. And I'm working on just some Strathmore Bristol paper that I got at Michael's. And then we're gonna color the jar in. With a little bit of this cobalt blue. And it's a little dark, so I think I'm going to take a brush and some water and we'll try to blend this out. I'm going to take my coordinating dies, line them up, and run them through my Big Shot machine, and I'll be right back. Okay, now that I have these all cut out, we're going to just set those aside for now. And we're going to bring in a scratch piece of paper, because to me this was just too contrasty. I wanted to give it a little bit of a different feel. Okay, now we're going to take our mustard seed now that our circles are dry, and I'm going to sponge this on just to give it more of a tone-on-tone feel. Make it feel a little bit more like honey too, because honeycombs don't have white in them. They are all yellow colored. So there's that piece. And we're going to do the same to our flower piece in the Dusty Concord. And now we're going to trim around the edge of this just to give it less of a circle look. We're going to begin putting our card together. I have a cream card base. Okay, so we're going to stick our flower piece on first. That's going to go over here. And then our hexagon circle is going to layer over the top of that. Like so. Next, we're going to put some foam tape on the back of our jar here. Give it a little added dimension. Okay, so I didn't realize that my recording failed, so we just put our objects on, our jars popped up on some foam tape, and I was just gonna put my sentiment on, and my sentiment was made using Stampin' Up's alphabet rotary stamp. This one right here. So to do this, you have to kind of work backwards. See, it says caught a bug, and you just twirl these until you get the right letter lined up there. And it was kind of hard to stamp, so I did that off camera. I just heat embossed that on a little bit of black cardstock. And now for the final touch, we will put on our little bees. So when I did this card before, I liked one bee caught in the jar, and then another one kind of tucked behind the lid to give it a little bit. You can tell there's dimension there now. And the third one I placed down over here. And this is kind of creating a visual line, diagonal line to draw your eye up. And there's our finished card.